Welcome back. It's time to build this bad boy. I've been waiting a long time. I'll pull all the parts out and we will get started. And cutting these parts off reminds me of the old Aurora kits. And these are all undergated. Also, if you see the undergate right there, interesting. Now we actually have to trim away the undergate. So you can see the undergate right there. So we have to take our snippers and cut it off. And these press fit together, but you want to glue them, and they're kind of tight. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto and run around it just to loosen up the connection a little bit. And a little bit of liquid glue. Inner body house. Next step was to assemble the arms to the body, just like that. I had to do that here for the arm pieces to get that groove cleaned out where they come together. A little confusing building this kit so far, having to attach these to the body. Next we're going to put the body halves on top of this. So we attach the front part of the torso first. And you can see I painted the inner part here black. And then we attach the back part of the torso. And that's how that should look there. I'm not going to glue those in just yet because I want to put my own finish on this. I want to paint it here in a little bit. Next, we need to test fit the ear pieces onto the face shield there, and that's how it mounts. The instructions aren't very clear on that. They do show that this part that sticks out is on the bottom. So I'll show you how that fits the earpiece. This part right here, this is the back side. You can see there's two nubs that stick out. They're going to go up against the ear hole. You can see there's a nub on the ear hole, and it's just going to line up with that nub. Okay, so I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on that part, just right there. Right there. And line this up with that. Just like that. And that's good there. How it compares to the other side. Looks good. And looks good. Okay, so in actuality, those ear sockets, you want them to line up with the holes that are on the face mask. And you can see they're lined up here and right there. And that's so that these connectors will fit just right on the helmet. I used some perfect plastic here to fill the seams where the legs meet the body, and no sanding required. Just take some water and that will clean it up enough for painting. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be underneath the metal plates. And here's the final look of the legs after they've been installed. And they'll look very nice underneath the plated parts that go on top of them here in a little bit. Nothing is glued down, so I can take them off and paint them separately. But this is an impressive kit. Just like I was saying, the sprue attachment points just take a little bit of TLC to get them to work. So these leg parts insert through the leg here, just like that, and then this one right here will go into that one and press fit in place. Now I need to paint these before I actually mount them, and to make it easier and give me a little more room to get the seams connected, I recommend you take and waller out these holes here a little bit. And that's what I've done, is I've gone in there and I've wallered them out a little bit, just like that. And so that way these slide on and off a lot easier. And you can see how everything lines up. There really is no seam filling that you really have to do there. It's just a natural seam from the costume. So I think that will work out. Next we put on the thigh covers, and we'll put on the back one first here. Then we put on the front cover. That's how that looks there. Of course, we have to squeeze it together. The other thigh cover goes on. And just like that. Looks good. Everything's prepped and ready to be painted. I'm going to go ahead and give it a primer coat and then a gloss black coat. And here's everything painted up with the Super Metallic SM202 from Mr. Hobby. And I'll show you a close-up of that here in a second. And of course, the torso itself. I did use Stynylrez as a primer coat for this. I went ahead and glued on these pieces of armor because I wanted to fill the seam in. And I used super glue to fill the seam in and painted it gloss black like I did all the other parts. I painted that with the Mr. Color number 2 gloss black, and of course the SM202 over that. And very durable. I'm very pleased with that. Of course, I experimented and I tried it out on a spoon first. I used the gloss black first and then the super metallic gold with this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and try a super metallic SM201, which is the super fine silver. And there it is, misted with the silver. And of course the super gold number 2 SM202 was used for these. And I think they look very good. They don't look too gold. Once again, misted with the silver. And for all my Mr. Hobby colors, I use the Mr. Color Leveling Thinner 400. And I airbrushed with my Badger 105 Patriot. So the first thing that has to be done, we have to install the front part of this, just like that. Slides in just fine. And then we install the back part over that. And you can see how it snaps in over that. And that's how that looks there. Next we install the back half of the leg, and then the front half of the leg inserts over that. Remember, I wallered out the holes earlier, and it's just going to go in there just like that. So here's Maria fully assembled, and relatively easy. Of course, the order you want to go with the legs is work from your top down to the bottom, and finally the feet. And with the arms, you want to work from the forearms, and you want to squeeze the hands in between the forearms there. I didn't do anything to the seams because the seams look really good, and there's nothing in the records that said that these seams were ever filled. So I wanted to leave it as if it was just like the costume, or the sculpt that was created. So I didn't worry about the seam there. I just wanted to make sure it was as clean as possible. But I wanted some contrast, so that's why I left the body black primer, Stynylrez, and I think it gives it a nice contrast there, having it that way. The eyes I painted them. I painted them with Vallejo silver, and then I outlined it with some inks and real transparent ink around the edges. So I think that turned out really good there. I'm very pleased with this. Very nice. Now here are the colors I used. Like I said, I did paint the body with the matte black Stynylrez, and then of course I coated all the metal parts with a gloss black, and that's a Mr. Hobby Mr. Color number 2, and then I lightly misted over with the super metallic super gold 2. And I did, for all of these, I did put in Mr. Leveling Thinner into my airbrush. And that was a light misting, so that it wasn't too dark of a gold. And then lastly, after that had dried a few days, it's rock hard, believe me. Nothing is coming off here on my hand. I coated it with a light misting of the Super Metallic 2 Super Fine Silver 2. And then, like I said before, the eyes were done with the Vallejo Silver. And around the eyes, I used transparent burnt umber. And of course, that's an ink. And this is where I pre-drilled the holes for the LEDs. I'm going to be mounting 4 yellow LEDs on the top and 6 blue LEDs in the bottom section here. Well, I got the stand wired up with LEDs. Went ahead and I put blue LEDs on the bottom, and I put 6 LEDs and 4 yellow LEDs on the top. These are all 3mm LEDs wired in a switch and 12-volt battery, and there you go. That's how that looks. That's how that looks there. And yellow on top. Of course, the chair is going to go down on top of that. And for the stand, or the base itself, it's done in a metallic dark metal, as you can see there. And you can see that I did light it up, and I'm running a 12-volt system with a light switch on it. So I've got the 3mm resistor protected LEDs. These are the blue ones, and then yellow ones underneath. And then of course the switch is just hidden away. I did fill the seams on the back, and I did leave everything on there. It does actually list the sculptor of Maria, and just for prosperity, the date and the manufacturer. The colors I used for this, I did matte coat it with Krylon matte black. And this stuff I really love. As soon as it went down, I loved it. And that's the dark metallic metal. And this is just beautiful paint. I love it. Now, if you're looking at fill-in seams and maybe sanding marks and such, you can use this high build surface primer. It's called SEM, and I use the black, but you be careful, this is going to shock you. It lays down really thick, but it does self-level, but it's very thick, and it's kind of shocking when it first comes out. But I did use a little bit of this on the base here because of some of the sanding marks that I had. And then lastly, I just brush painted Metropolis from the same gold that I used for the body, the Super Gold 2.